I dislike going to the university. They, the university cunts, want me to suck them off and go down on them again this semester. I do not want to suck them off. I would rather they suck me off than I suck them off. Regardless of who is doing it, it is being done. Sucking off is occurring reluctantly again. Or is it going down on a bush? The bush of academia. Lawn, sweating, ducks, duck shit. I'm thinking of the lawn there at the University of Latrine where I am considered to be a student. I am walking past a bouncy castle during a day of funter. And there are heaps of excellent rich women with fat asses, walking and sitting. The middle class. There are some boys throwing a frisbee. I do not fault the frisbee. When I've said above I dislike going to the university, it is not because of frisbees. In fact, I quite like throwing the frisbee. When I'm walking past the lawn where boys throw them, I would like to join in. Sadly, one of the boys is a white maggot with furry legs and a white t-shirt. I'm not attracted to the white maggot, nor the others, but I do like watching the frisbee float through the air. I will now make a rather obvious observation about a white frisbee floating through the air towards me, spinning in the way that a frisbee will spin. Oh, what beautiful cunts they are, these white plastic circles. It is terribly fun when the frisbee comes, thrown from the hand, including the hand and arm of so-and-so with a weak chin, and comes to me with a good line, elevation, drift, and I'm running to meet the lines intersecting of the maths where I run at it. It coming from the student with the hyphenated surname, and catching it I do, reaching out for the disc, an enjoyable activity. Not the best supporting evidence for my previous statement explaining my dislike of the university. But there I was, walking past that often muddy lawn, observing the funter of the bouncy castles, the frisbee throwers, and recalling myself having a good time on this lawn, and adjacent this lawn. Doing it near the opaque brown pond and its curved bluestone wall, and underneath the gum tree with the small gum nuts and the little birds. I dislike the university. I've been using the internet in West Hobart and finding out what is to be expected of me from the University of Latrine this semester, in order that I fulfil the obligations of the unit requirements. And it is not a terribly happy scenario. That said, I did have a hot cup of tea and was surrounded by women. One of the women was ironing, one was sewing, one was sitting there thinking things to say like, I'm not scared of death, I just can't make sense of it, and I do like to make sense of things. It was a beautiful cup of tea. I was offered almond milk, but I took no almond milk, and I just drank the black tea and felt it good going a pin me. This semester, for a unit entitled Self-Writing, Writing the Self, I am required to fill in a 1,500 word form about my own life, and accompany that form with another, a 500 word accompaniment, expressing the reflections I have been feeling or have specifically conjured for the purpose of this assignment. I believe this is considered necessary because of something called the creative process, something that is well understood at the University of Latrine. By that statement I mean to say that at Latrine they are not understanding the creative process one little bit. I would desire to write the 1,500 word self-writing, and I would do it twice over, thrice over, in order to avoid the accompanying reflection, in which I will say things like, I'd hoped, and but shit, fuck, and where I failed, there could be 3 words to explain the failure. Sweet grass and pomegranate. In a unit entitled Australia or Australia, I will be asked to explain the construction of Australian identity in Hooterum terms. And more specifically, I will be asked to be persuaded that the bushman with his pipe and hat and beard, with his swag and axe and pick, was a media construction designed to justify the Boer War. At the end of this unit, I will come out onto the street and send a text message to all the people I consider to be important enough to receive the text message, explaining, fuck the Aborigines, fuck women, fuck poor cunts in other countries. Australia, a history of fucking. Authors Peter Woot, Katrine Lest and Jim Brothers have all either reinforced or challenged the Bushman. I've said fuck a few times and the word cunt too, but that is alright. In the unit Australia or Australia, I will be encouraged to launch a rigorous intellectual attack on the complacency and boredom of the Australian suburbs where many or every persons are desirous of a large television set with a flat screen, and where many or every persons are desirous of a large car and a double garage for to park it. The tutorials for Australia or Australia, I will hear other students say, yes, and that's because everyone wants a new TV and a double garage. And I will say, yes, they do. I've seen it too. New TV, double garage and a four-wheel drive. And then we will agree that some cabbages are better allowed to be indulging in material greed than other cabbages. In this unit we will criticise classic texts from the Australian canon, including Lepech, The Woman Who Loathed Adults, and Sister Theremin, and ask important questions like, in Lepech there are no transgender characters. What can explain Peter Wood's absencing of transgender characters in this seminal novel? We will learn about the life of Mr. Wood, that he was born in East Africa during the Boer War, that he migrated to Victoria in the late 1920s, that he was a late bloomer as a writer and kept a strict routine of at least 400 words per day, written in 2B pencil, preferably during inclement weather. Woo! And we, as a group, will feel some degree of mastery over Mr. Wood, a flawed lower middle class homosexual who resided in a post-colony, and I will be looking at a girl with brown skin and tattoos and imagining self-consciously fucking her. At the end of one difficult hour, having enjoyed 1 hour of insight into the creative production of Peter Wood, Australia's first, and listened to the relationship between Evelyn and Morris is textbook Freudian psychoanalysis, as well as the book contained too much sexual content. I do not see why I support. We will adjourn, and I will go and sit on the grass under the tree and wonder if I am having a good time. Thank you.